There have been plenty of Hollywood faces at the Royal Windsor Horse Show, but it was the Queen who was the star of the night, of course. The 96-year-old was honoured with a standing ovation as the Platinum Jubilee celebrations kicked off to mark Her Majesty's 70-year reign. In one of the first performances of the evening, another Queen, Dame Helen Mirren, took to the stage to play the role of Queen Elizabeth I, with the Queen listening intently.
I address you on behalf of all your loyal subjects. We commend and admire the way that you carry out the affairs of state with such dexterity and poise. I therefore speak on behalf of a grateful nation and Commonwealth when I give you our sincere and most loving thanks.
Well, joining me now is the former Press Secretary to the Queen, Dickie Arbiter. Dickie, great to see you, especially after a rather lively debate I had earlier. I need a bit of decorum to return to the show. You were Press Secretary to the Queen through arguably the most turbulent 12 years of her entire reign through the late 80s and the 90s. What do you make of where we are now? And I ask that because the Queen's health has obviously been pretty poor. For her to miss the state opening of Parliament, I felt was a really big moment. But she bounced back yesterday as if nothing had happened. But clearly we're having to consider now, really, the possibility that she may not be with us for a lot longer. And that raises the spectre of what that means for the monarchy.
I think the monarchy will continue. It will continue in a different form. You know, there is a transition period. We've seen a transition from the Diamond Jubilee, 2012, or just after, with the Prince of Wales taking over things, going to Sri Lanka for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. He's been doing several subsequently. The Queen did London in 2018. There wasn't one in 2020 because of COVID. The monarchy has a wonderful capacity to survive. Yes, they have all sorts of trials and tribulations. Look, you were reporting in Fleet Street. 92, the Annus Horribilis, when anything that could go wrong did go wrong.
And Diana's death in 97, which many felt could have been the beginning of the end of the monarchy.
Exactly, but it bounces back. And yes, there have been issues. We've had COVID for 2 years. We had the death of Prince Philip last year. We had the debacle of Andrew in 2019, that dreadful BBC Newsnight interview. And then Harry walking out, followed by his missus. You know, how much can a family endure, and particularly the Queen, having lost Prince Philip, how much can she endure? She's managed to cope with it remarkably well without the support of Philip because he's not there, but in the past he would have handled it.
Last night I saw a woman who's utterly indomitable. After all that we'd been reading, everyone felt, would we ever see her again? Would she even make the Jubilee celebrations? Would we see her on the balcony? And there she was, getting out of the car, beaming smile, beamed all night, had a great time. I mean, she is remarkable, 96 years old.
She is remarkable, and you raised the issue about not doing the state opening of Parliament. There's a very simple reason for that. Firstly, you can get up to the Royal Robing Room by lift, but then there's a 33-metre walk, nearly 100 feet. And after that, once you get into the Lord's Chamber, there are those steps to negotiate. Now, you may remember in 2017, she stopped laying a wreath at the Cenotaph because of those steps, having to walk backwards.
It's really a mobility issue.
It's a mobility issue, and the mobility really, I believe, is in her knees. She had 2 operations in 2003, one in January, one in December, both on cartilages. And, you know, as you get older, your knees get weaker. So it is a mobility issue. But as you say, yesterday, she was absolutely sparkling.
One of my favourite
I saw her on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great moment when Alan Titchmarsh, who's one of her favourite presenters, the gardening presenter, and he did this. Look at her reaction, it's hilarious.
There's been one constant heartbeat of this nation, and that heart belongs to Her Majesty the Queen.
I love that.
She just doesn't know how to take compliments.
No.
Like Prince Philip, he didn't like it. And the Queen, you know, all the eyes are on her. Thousands of people there, television cameras on her, beaming to millions. And she's paid a compliment. What do you do? How do you react?
Is she, Dickie, for you? I mean, we saw Helen Mirren there playing Elizabeth I, who many think was maybe the greatest monarch we've had. I actually feel this monarch is the greatest we've had.
She is the greatest. Look, we've all grown up with her. I remember when Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, died in 2002. We'd all grown up with her. She was born at the turn of the 19th into 20th century. We've all grown up with the Queen. Now, you'd be too young to remember King George VI, but I remember King George VI. I remember when he died, we were sent home from school because it would be wrong to sit in school enjoying ourselves when the country was going into mourning. I saw his funeral procession. I saw the coronation. So she's been with us since 1952.
Amazing.
We've all grown up with her, and we're not about to let her go either.
No, I don't. I just think she's going to keep confounding everybody and will keep powering away. She's a remarkable woman. Dickie, great to talk to you.
You too, Piers.
Really lovely to come in as well.